Mark, if we get an infrastructure program that is being added to the already substantial stimulus delivered by DC, what impact do you think that will have, and how would you position for that?
It's going to have an incredible global impact, and it's going to be good for everybody in the world. But particularly, I think many of the emerging markets are going to benefit from that. China, India, these are countries that will do very well. And all these other countries that are producing products for the American market will do well. But more importantly, a lot of flows will go into investments in these emerging markets, will again boost up these markets and do very well. So I think it's really good news for the markets if this money can get out quickly into the area, because you have a combination of more money coming into the market and the COVID situation winding down, which is a double-barrel benefit.
So, Mark, it really feels like there are two schools of thought when it comes to, say, the dollar. One that you outlined, which would imply then a weaker dollar, as in the U.S. is basically going to import more goods from around the world. The other is a stronger dollar based on better growth and outperformance here in the U.S. versus the rest of the world. Walk me through your thesis.
Well, I think the dollar is already weakened, and I think it'll probably stay at this level. If you look at the dollar index, it's at the low point. Probably not going to get any weaker. But the good news is that these emerging market currencies and other countries gotten stronger, substantially stronger against the dollar. And that gives confidence to investors, because one of the first questions people ask when they go into emerging markets, what about the currency? So this is a good scenario.
Just in terms of the position you are looking at vis-a-vis this international effect of the infrastructure program, do you basically pick countries that are closer to the United States to take advantage of that? The obvious one there is Mexico. How far do you think the effects of that infrastructure program will be felt?
Of course, it will be felt in Mexico. You must remember that the labor market in the Americas will get tight as a result of this huge infrastructure program. And interestingly enough, this is related to the whole immigration issue, because America will need workers to do all this infrastructure. And that means Mexicans and other peoples around the world, but particularly Mexicans.
Mark, what if we don't get infrastructure? It doesn't seem like it's a done deal. Senator Joe Manchin, the centrist in the Democratic Party, seemed very hell-bent on the fact that it should be a partisan bill going forward. So it's unlikely that it might be as huge as we think. Where are the bubbles in the market that are already starting to price that in that we need to be aware of?
Well, obviously, if you look at commodities have really come up strongly, surprisingly so. And of course, that is one area that will be hit, whether it be iron ore or steel, whatever commodity you want to pick, that would probably be a problem. But I do think that this infrastructure program will go through in one form or another. It may be less than the 1.6 trillion or whatever number they're using, but I think it will go through.
Mark, final question from me in this block. Paul Krugman wrote a piece, I think it was in the New York Times, in today's edition. And the title of it was, "Will Stagnation Follow the Biden Boom?" He talked about the fact that once this big spending programs are behind us, we will be back to secular stagnation. Do you see a kind of souffle economy where we pump it up, it kind of rises, and then once the hot air has departed, basically everything falls flat? Is that a fear?
Oh, yeah, that can happen, of course. If you embark on a big spending program and then it ends, of course, you're going to have a slowdown. You'll have unemployment and all the rest of it. But we're years away from that. You must remember, these infrastructure programs take years. And that's the good news. It will continue for quite some time.